Now, here we
Your
go.
flight attendant to her fully upright and locked position.
I jumped on it, but that's all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat and buckle up. Seat backs and tray tables in their full upright position. It's another episode of Skip Happens. A view from 30,000 feet. From the first music lesson to the first paid gig to signing the deal, it's the journey that is the life of an artist. Now, here's your captain and co-captain, a.k.a. your hosts, Skip Clark
That's me,
and
but
Deb Lamphere.
she's not here. It's just me. Just me tonight or this afternoon or
I love
whatever.
that intro. I didn't hear that before. That's cool.
You didn't hear that?
No.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Has it been that long?
It's been that long. It's been, the last one was in London and it was in December. It's been too long. It's been way too
Has
long.
it been that long? Almost a year? Almost a year?
It's ridiculous.
Where in the world is Andrada? And it's been that long?
It has. Why? Why has it been that long?
Well, I'll tell you why, because you're a busy lady. That's why. And it is. Hello, everybody. It's Skip Clark and in the Skip Happens Pod Zone. And Andrada is back. And if you follow me on on the YouTube and the Facebook and all that, we do Skip Happens. And every once in a while, it's my friend Andrada. And matter of fact, I think we did a podcast that was like 3 hours long one time. But
it was, we set like a thing where we said, how long can we talk for? Because we both like talking. And I think the first one was like an hour. And then the second one was like 2 hours. And the last one we had was 3 hours long. And probably that's why it's been so long, because so much was said. And so much of it was just like, what was I even saying?
Last time, I think you were in the islands. You were...
No, I was in the islands before the last one, and the last one was in London. So
Okay.
I was on the island in October, and then I went to London in
Okay. Did you go back there on New Year's?
I didn't. No,
because
I didn't
because
go.
we had talked about that. If
Yes.
I'm not mistaken, you were thinking
Yes, no,
about going
I
back to
didn't.
New Year's.
I didn't go back because COVID got a bit weird again with the new variant and stuff, which I managed to get eventually. Yeah. And it wasn't good. Yeah, it wasn't fun. But yes, I didn't go back because it was just a bit, I didn't. So yeah.
Hey, do you know this? Hang on.
Who this?
I don't listen.
Who this?
This is a young lady by the name of
I don't
Andrada.
even want you, but I kind of like you here. So can I waste your time? Honestly, it's sad how we always end up here. Time has been another year. You can let me go, but you won't make me stay. House London, by the way. It's last time that I saw you, we're getting on that train. Lied and said that I'm okay. And I know it's not that you don't care, and it's not that you don't want me there, but I'm crippled with anxiety that's telling me you're done with me. Took a bit of therapy and red wine to pull me out of misery, and now I stop waiting around to be treated like I should. Girl, if he wanted to, he would.
I love it. I love it.
Do you agree though?
Yeah. I
We
love
want
it.
Skip's advice on this. Does Skip agree? Does Skip agree with Andrada's lyrics?
Yes. No, I love it. I absolutely love it. Absolutely.
Thank you.
So it's Andrada Popa, everybody, and welcome back to Skip Happens. And already our buddy Jeff. Yep, our buddy Jeff is already chiming in. He says one of my favorite people in the whole wide world.
Hi,
and,
Jeff. We love you.
We do. Maybe you do.
What
no,
happened?
I do too. I'm just.
What did I miss?
No. Jeff and I are like this.
Spill the tea.
See, Jeff and I can't. My mic's in my way. Jeff and I are like this. So, but no, it's good. Jeff's a great guy. I'm just kidding. But
I
all right.
thought I missed something. I was like, has it been that long? What have I missed?
Oh, Jeff is awesome. He's awesome. He's a busy man now, We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Now, all right. So where in the world is Andrada? I know you said you've been in London. You've been over on the islands. You've been everywhere. Where are you today?
So Andrada is actually in Bucharest today. I know, shocking. I've been back for a bit, and I mean, I'm lying. I've been kind of everywhere. I've been traveling in summer, and then I came back. So whenever people want to make plans with me, they're like, Andrada, listen, we never know where you are, so just you just tell us when you want to hang out. I'm like, yeah, that's a nice excuse, but yeah, still, I don't blame people because I like traveling. I feel like it's part of my personality now. So
It is, but
yeah.
you went to school in London just recently. Didn't you go get your master's?
So no, so I'm getting my master's here, but then
Oh, okay.
spoiler. So no, I'm getting my master's here, but I did so when I was in the island, that's when I started doing it because it was
Mhm,
online. And then
mhm,
when I was in London, again, I was doing that, but now because we're in person, I'm going in person.
mhm.
But in theory, I mean, practically and in theoretically, I'm going to finish the master's in Paris in January. So I'm still waiting on like the last details and everything. But it's always a case of like, I don't want to get too bored, so I'm just gonna like travel somewhere else. So yes, I got like a scholarship to go to Paris and finish the masters there. So I'm just waiting
Wow,
on
wow,
the
wow.
I'm just waiting on the last details because honestly the last 2 weeks have been so stressful and the communication's been terrible between the university. So I'm like, listen guys, am I not going? Because my next song is literally called, I mean spoiler, but it's called Already in Paris. So so I'm like, I don't want to have to change the lyrics to my song. It's like I've already created this whole persona in my head based on this experience. So yeah, I'm a bit worried that I don't know what's going on, but like I'm excited. If it's happening, then I'm excited. But yes, I just want to make sure that they didn't mess it up and that I am going. So
Okay,
yes,
you're gonna be
yeah,
there. I know you're
I
gonna
will
be
be
there.
there. I
Now,
will be there.
now I'm on the East Coast in the United States,
I
and
know.
you are there. What
Yes.
is the time difference? What time is it there?
So it's 6 hours difference now. It's usually
Oh,
7, but
6.
the time,
Okay.
so the time went back last night. So now it's only 6. So it's
But
10 o'clock here.
the
Yes.
time went back last night.
Yes.
Not here though.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's why it was confusing because I was like,
How do you
wait
keep
on,
track
hang
of
on a minute. I was like, it's not at 11 o'clock, it's at 10. Okay. And I was like, just like rushing to like,
I'm going, "No,
do
no,
my
no, it's
hair and
at
everything.
4." So,
Yeah, for you.
yeah, exactly. And it's still light. I can look outside the window here and say, "Hey, it's a beautiful afternoon." You look
Well,
outside and you see nothing but black.
yeah, I
It's
don't I
dark.
don't see anything. It's just
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about your
It's
city a little bit. Is it beautiful like they say it is?
it is beautiful. I mean, I think I would be subjective because obviously I've lived here a long time and I've traveled quite a bit and I feel like it depends on the kind of stuff that you're into and the things and like the sites that you like. So it's
Mm,
okay. Like
mhm.
it's nice. I
I get
don't
it.
dislike it, but I guess you eventually get if you're like me, you get bored easily with stuff like this. So you just want to like, see different places and different cultures and stuff like this. So yeah.
You know why you get bored so easy? Because you're so busy. And then when you do get time, when you stop, you're not used to it. It's like, now what do I do? Okay, I'm bored.
I am trying to be better with it because I think sometimes you feel like you need to do something
Mhm.
like constantly. And if you stop, like the world's gonna end. And I feel like I'm trying to be better at, okay, it's fine. It like just take a day off. You'll be okay. Like, the world isn't gonna end if you're just gonna chill. But then I feel like is that thing of am I relaxing because I'm actually relaxing or am I like feeling guilty for doing it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a really weird place to be. So yes.
Yeah, well, you're so busy because you got the song, the one I just played. Wait a minute, I got to bring it up again because I'll be honest with you, that's the first I've heard it. And you no, no, you sent me the link.
No,
You
I
know,
know, I
if you
know, I know, I
wanted
know.
to, if you wanted to be, he would. If he wanted to
So it
be, he would.
so it's if he wanted to, he would, but close enough.
If he wanted to, he would. That's
Yes,
right. Yep. Now, how come it
that's it.
just switched to High on Love? That was a long time ago. I remember that
Oh,
from last time.
no. Oh, yeah, I
So
know it was one of your favorites.
it was, and when we first started talking about your music, I mean, that was one of my favorites. Now I'm gonna have to listen to this one more and
Ah, you're
more
gonna
because
have to you're gonna have
I
to change
will.
your favorites now.
I will. You're right there. I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. You're right there. You're right there. I love it. So, where do you find time to write music, or do you write those, or is it written for you
Yes.
and you just perform it?
No, I'm not a big fan of not writing stuff myself. Like I don't have anything against it in terms of if some other people want to do it, but I think to me it's really important for everything that I write to resonate with me and with my experience and everything that I do. So I think if someone just like hands you a song and says sing this, and you don't feel like you can actually perform it from a place of like honesty and okay, this actually means something. And I think to me, writing songs is about expressing myself, right? And expressing your feelings and what you're thinking and everything like this. So or even trying to write about, let's say, you like me and my friends, we talk about many different things and we go through experiences together, and I'm really lucky to have a good relationship with them and to like, you know, go through their experiences with them. So when I write things, I want to feel like I'm like relatable to people, and I want to write about something that my friends could say like, oh, I know, I feel like this sometimes. So I think to me it's just really important to write about things that make sense. Yeah. And that aren't just because it's so easy to have like a nice song and it sounds good, but then it's just not your your thoughts and feelings. Yeah.
No, exactly. And when you write about real thoughts and feelings, you can relate to different people, and they relate to you, and they love the music because of that. So that's cool.
Yes,
that's cool.
And I think to me, the journey of writing the song is sometimes, and I mean 90% of the time, more important than the actual release. Because I think when you're releasing the stuff, it's all about what comes with it. Like you have to promote this, you have to tell people to stream your songs. You're basically like selling yourself out on the internet, right? So everything that comes with the release is about, okay, how are you promoting this? How are you getting people to listen to it? And it's everything to do with the product, not with the process. So I think to me, the journey and the process of actually writing a song is so much more meaningful, because it's like the whole thing of you're in the studio and you're just like writing things down, and then you're getting to the studio and you're recording it. And it's just, there's just so much more to creating a song than just putting it out there. So
is your music played over the radio or on the air anywhere in the world?
So I have, this one I have, there were like a couple of shows that I went to with it. So like in Romania, mainly you would go to like TV shows and stuff like this. And then I got invited to like the radio station. I think the one that got played the most was Sign from God. That was on a couple of radios, and they were like playing it quite a bit. And I was like trying, because people were sending me videos, and I don't drive. So people were sending me videos, and I was like, oh God, like I really want to be in the car once and actually like listen to my song. And one day I was with my mom and I was like, stop right here. I was like, listen, stop the car. This is it. And it was my song. And I just like basically made her stop the car and just listen to it. So I could feel like, oh, it's me. Yeah. So it was quite good.
Why don't you drive? You just don't have time.
Let's not get into that. I did like I finished driving school, and then I was like, oh, it would be a really good idea to just like, leave and go to an island and then go to London and then come back. And then by the time I actually go around to it, I was like, oh, driving school expired. I'm gonna have to do it again.
So they require you to take a driving school?
Yes. Don't you have that?
No. I mean, I know here when you turn 16, you can get your permit. You just practice driving with your parents.
Oh,
I mean, we do have driving schools, yes, but it's not required, if you know what I mean. I never went to a driving school. I learned how to drive on my own, and then I took my test and got my license.
Yeah, because I think it's the same in London. You can drive with someone if you have like a parent or someone that has their license, and then no, here it's different. So you would have to actually do a number of lessons, and then you have to take a test and then another test. So I think and then you get like a year before everything expires. So that year has passed, and then basically I wanted to get it, but then I found out about Paris, and I was like, listen, I ain't driving in Paris. So I was like, you will not see me. Like, have you seen people drive in Paris? I mean, no disrespect, but my God. And I was like, listen,
same thing in New York.
I'm not gonna be driving in Paris. So I thought, might as well it's got to be done. I know it's embarrassing at this point. Like it just has to be done.
I think it's
but
great.
I just didn't really have, I'm going to be honest. I didn't have the right motivation for it. I'm not a fan of driving, even though I finished the school and everything, it was fine, but I wouldn't call it my calling. So,
how do you get around?
I just Uber or I walk sometimes. I would just have like these little quests in my head. I'm like, that's an hour and a half away. I can walk it. But But I guess if I'm in a
Stop,
like
stop. You're not
no,
walking.
when I was in London, I was just taking the tube everywhere. I think that's the main reason
Yeah.
why I didn't have a because I left to uni right when I was 18, when you would
Mhm,
normally get
mhm.
a license in Romania or in Europe. I think it's 18 everywhere, aside from the US. So when
Mhm,
I left
mhm.
to London, there would be absolutely no real reason why you would need a car. Like, what is your issue if you
Right,
want to drive in
right.
London? So
I get it.
yeah, I basically just didn't really need a license. And then, years go by and you realize, well, maybe I should. So yeah, let's just try this again. Let's just try this again when I come back from Paris and see if I actually like manage
No
to get a
hurry,
license.
no
Yeah.
hurry in getting that license. I get it. What's the
Yes.
traffic like where you are? Not your home right now. Is that your
Yes.
home?
Yes,
Okay.
I moved. So I moved. I mean, I love moving, don't I? So I think I've moved flats
You've
five
made it
times
a
in
habit.
Yes, I've moved flats 5 times in the last 5 years. So this is my actual like place now. So it kind of
Mhm,
feels like I'm slowly settling in and being like, okay, this is my home. So
mhm.
I mean, who's to say I'm not gonna I mean, again, like not gonna be here for 6 months. So it's just
Yeah,
honestly,
that's true.
it's just who I
Okay.
am now. I'm a
So now
traveler.
yes, world traveler. That's why we do Where in the World is Andrada? Because you're every time we talk, you're somewhere else.
Yes.
Most of the time. So you've been to London, to Paris, you went to the islands, you're home now. You just go, go, go. When do you find time? You're putting out music, you've put you were involved in a Netflix movie.
That came
Um,
out. That
I
came out in the time that we didn't speak.
Yes, I know that's but I guess what I'm gonna ask is how do you find time to do all this and also work on your education?
Um,
You
I
just do
don't
it.
have like I just don't have a good answer for that. It's
Yeah.
if people know me, they know I'm like an overachiever, and I'm not saying that is necessarily a good thing because sometimes it's exhausting to me and to others, I guess. But I just think you find time for the things that matter to you. And I'm
Mhm,
gonna be honest, the whole thing with the masters was more of a joke. It wasn't really like a thing that I wanted to do, but it was I told you about it on the last podcast. I applied at
mhm, mhm.
11:59 on the day of application, and then I got in, and then I randomly applied for the scholarship, and then I got it. So I was like, sometimes I feel like sometimes the things that you think about the least are the things that bring out the craziest experiences and results and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't really know. It's just whenever I want to do something, I just try it out
Just get it done.
and then some yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like a just
I get you.
just go do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is there anything else you'd like to do?
yes, I mean, how long have you got? Would you like me to pull out
I
my bucket list with
Andrada, for
everything that I
you,
want to do?
I've got all the time in the world. You know that.
Oh my god, what I mean, to be
It's
honest, anything that has to do with this is in songwriting or, just performing or acting or anything like that, it's always welcome.
mhm.
As you know, I also love to cook. I feel like my house is a communal kitchen at this point because everyone just comes to my house
I'll
to
come
have
over, we'll
food.
have dinner. I'd love
Yes.
what would be your favorite food to cook?
Um, I think it's gotta be risotto. I think I
Okay.
cook that a lot. I think it's just whenever I don't know what to cook or whenever I want to cook something that I know is gonna taste good, I just cook risotto, or sometimes I just ask my friends what they would like to have, and then we just figure it out together. Yeah.
What's some of the popular food there?
Ah,
I mean, here we have,
you
steaks and
mean
hamburgers and french fries and pizza and stuff like that, but,
do you mean traditional food or do you mean just things that people like?
both. First of all, what's some of the traditional foods there?
Traditional food, we have a lot of like cabbagey stuff, like things with like meat with cabbage and like minced meat with
Mm.
cabbage and beans and like bean soup. Like one of my favorite things to have is just bean soup and bread. It's amazing.
Oh, wow.
That could be my last meal. Um, what else? People do love a steak. We love sausages and steak and
Mhm.
fries and all of this. I mean, you won't see that many vegetarians running around in Bucharest, to be honest, just because, I mean, you might, but if you go to the mountains and you're a vegan, there's nothing. You're just gonna have to eat like the sides and just the salads. So we're not very catered for the vegan population because we love
Mhm, mhm.
meats. So
Do you
yeah,
have like
but
pizzas or do you have like a McDonald's or
don't get me started. There's a McDonald's right across from where I live now. And it's really ironic because my gym is like on that same road, right? So
Oh,
whenever
that's
I
not
I
good.
come I know. So whenever I come back from the gym, it's like, I see you. I see you. I'm not gonna go in. But it's just really funny how I actually have to literally walk through the McDonald's and cross on the other side to my house because it's right there. And
Mhm.
I will make a confession that last night I did
Did
go and I bought fries last
I was
night.
gonna
I'm
ask
gonna
what you
make a
had. You had the
confession.
fr their fries are good. You didn't get a
They're
big one though. I imagine knowing you, you just got a little one.
Yeah, I
That's
did.
all.
I did. I did. I was just craving it. I was like, listen, I told the Uber guy, I was like, hi, sorry, could we just drop by McDonald's so I can just get some fries? And he was like, yeah, sure, no worries. So that's what happened. Confession time.
So see here, it's on the dollar menu. What's it cost there? Like,
Um,
so okay, you're gonna order fries. Do you
yeah.
remember what it cost? I have no
Oh,
idea.
I don't know. I think it came to like $3 or something. I got like fries and like a small, I don't know what you call it. It's like it's not a McChicken. It's like the smaller version of the McChicken. It's like
But
really
it's not
tiny.
dollars there.
Yeah, no, it's not. No, 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 no.
So what would it be?
It's Ron, but it's hard to explain to you right now
Okay,
how that
don't.
will go. So, let's say $3 would be like 12, like 10 Ron.
Okay.
So
I
that's
have
kind of
no
how it would
idea.
go.
I get that's where I get don't even ask. You're right. I couldn't explain it and don't even try explaining it
I
to
think
me.
we're gonna switch to euros soon, and it's just gonna be easier for you
Really.
guys. So
Really. Do
yes.
you feel real safe where you are?
Uh, mm, do you mean like location wise, or do you just mean
Here in the States, we
okay?
hear the world is a scary place, whether you're here or whether you're there. But I feel really safe here in
Okay.
the United States. But we hear about all this stuff going on the other side of the world. You got the Ukraine situation, you've got stuff going on in the Middle East. Do you feel safe where you are?
I guess I just kind of refuse to live in fear. Like my mom's kind of scared with everything that's happening with
Mhm.
Ukraine and Russia, and obviously we're very close, and we have lots of Ukrainians that came in, and that they found jobs here. Um,
Yes.
I think I'm also the kind of person that does not have cable TV, so I don't watch any type of news. And people would, there will be people out there telling me that I probably should, but I think things are happening whether I see them or not. If it's something that's really gonna be affecting me, of course I'm gonna find out about it. But I think
Mhm.
living in that, especially like again being a woman, and it's hard being a woman sometimes. Like it's just the reality, and people will catcall you, and you will have the
Mhm. Mhm.
occasional
Mhm.
honking thing or whatever. But I
Mhm.
think if you choose to live in fear, and if you choose to always be scared, then you're going to get to a point where you're not going to live your house, like leave your house.
That's right.
So I guess it's not that I feel safe necessarily, because I don't always feel safe, but I kind of convince myself that, hey, you'll be fine. Like you have to just
Mhm.
give yourself a strong mindset to be able um to get through those moments, especially if I have my mom being afraid. If I get scared, then she gets scared, and then I don't think it
Yeah,
helps
that's not
anyone.
good. No, it does not.
It's like when you're on a plane and the person next to you is like really scared of flying, you're gonna have to somehow, push aside your fear of flying to help them, because
Help
if you're
them. Yeah,
panicking and then they're
exactly.
panicking and everyone's freaking out, then it just doesn't help. So
I have no fear of flying, though. I absolutely love that. So if somebody was sat next to me and they had a fear of flying, I just said, dude, it's going to be good. It's going to be, just relax. We're going to be fine.
I should
I
have
mean,
I should have had you on my when I flew back from Budapest. I had a rough-ish flight.
mhm.
So I did let out the F word on the flight because the plane just went like this, and I was like, "Mm." So the person, yeah, I was like, boop. And the person next to me was like, oh, it's fine, it's fine. But I think I'm usually okay. Like I think if I fly alone, I have to convince myself that it's gonna be okay. But
Mhm.
if I'm with a person that is even better at it than me, I think that's when I let this side out of I don't really like this. I also have the whole theory of I don't think anyone's scared of flying. I think people are just scared of dying. Like the only reason why you would be like you're not afraid of the plane itself. You're not afraid of flying per se. You're just afraid that if the plane is going to go down, then you're going to die.
Somebody else up above has control for all that.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Maybe that's, I mean, people just
Maybe.
have their
But I
reasons.
wouldn't
But
even worry about that. Don't live in that fear that you're talking about. Just enjoy every day. And I just, when I going back to what I started to talk about was everything that's going on in the world. And even here, it still makes you wonder a little bit. It's like, okay, yeah, I do feel safe, but there's always that but, that little bit, like just a few days ago, the president of the United States was here in my city in New York, in Syracuse, New York. And it's just everything shuts down when he's here, and security is high, and certain stores are closed. And it's just like, what if somebody does do something? There's always that what if,
yeah.
But no, it all went well. But I'm just saying, there's always that what if. Kind of makes you think
Yes,
a little bit.
I know. And even when I was in London, like I said, I kept moving places, and some of them were in like, let's say, like a better area. Some of them were like a bit. And I think people were asking me like, "Oh, aren't you scared to like walk here at night?" Like, obviously, I was always coming back from uni quite late, and even when I was coming back from, let's say, a different place, and people would always say like, "Oh, aren't you afraid to like, just walk by yourself?" And I think I never really think of it until someone asks me, because you don't want to be thinking like that's the last thing that you want to think of when you're walking back home at night. You don't want to think about it. You just go, just do it, and there will
But
be
maybe you
times when you
need to
might
think
get.
about it. But maybe you do need to think about it. You're a beautiful woman, and we all know there's a lot of crazies out there. And just walking home alone at night, I mean, just walk with somebody that you know, or I imagine you had your phone on you, but still,
Yes,
just
I mean, I
I don't
try
know.
whenever I lived with people that were close to me, or whenever like I had flatmates. So when our
Mhm.
schedules were the same, obviously we would walk together, like no
Yes,
questions.
great, great.
But I think there were also times when you cannot plan your whole, like you cannot change someone's schedule based on, oh, sorry, I want to walk home at this time. You got to come with me. Like sometimes it would
Mhm.
work out. Sometimes you would just kind of have to go with it and just hope for the best. I know that's not like the best option, but you just got to work with what you've got. So, yes.
Yeah. Well, I worry about you.
Oh,
And
I
Leah,
feel like this is like you being like the dad in you, just like
yeah,
Andrada,
it's
be
the dad
careful.
in me that's coming out because we got to know each other pretty good because of what we do
Yes.
here. We just haven't really officially met. And I hopefully we do someday. You're always welcome. My wife and I, our doors open anytime that, you want to make a visit. And,
Yes.
I just feel like I know you really well, and I really worry about you. And I thought about you a lot when, I'd hear on the news or see on the news what's going on over near you, and or what you call home. And it's just, God, I just can't even, I don't know. It's just kind of, I
Yes, I know. I
worry.
remember you messaged me and I thought that was really nice of you when you told me, you're like, "Hey, listen, if this is happening, please come over. Just stay with us." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much. It was really nice."
Absolutely.
I had lots of friends from American friends that messaged me saying, "Hey, listen, if you want to come over, just stay here." And I thought, "Oh,
So you
people
got a
do care."
place. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Thank
you have a
you.
lot of people that like you, they love you, and they care about you. So it's just a matter of if you need to, yeah, absolutely,
It's just
absolutely.
really sad how whenever we get to talk, it's either you asking me how I'm doing with COVID because we met during the pandemic, and then we moved on to how are you doing with the second variant, and then it was how are you doing with the war happening right next to you. So I kind of just feel like, can the world just give us just a little break? Like, can we
You
just
know,
like talk about good stuff and just talk about things that aren't happening in the world that are completely terrible,
okay,
like
let's talk about
pandemics and
good stuff.
wars?
Bring it up. What do you want to talk about? Let's talk about something good.
Oh no, I just meant like it's the world's
I
issue,
know,
not
I know what you
yours,
meant.
because
I
it's
know.
just a really sad thing.
No, I got you. But
If you can change the world in like 5 seconds, then sure,
yeah.
it's always welcome.
So we have on a brighter note, okay, do you realize that Christmas is like coming up really quick. Here we are, the end of October. We have Halloween here in the States.
I
Um,
celebrated Halloween yesterday. I went
y-
to a Halloween party.
yeah, what'd you go
So
as?
I went as Wednesday Adams. So I got like my hair is still like my hair looks weird now because I had the plait in. So
Oh
now
yeah,
it's all
yep,
like
yep, yep.
yeah.
How
So
long? How long is your hair?
it's really long. I wouldn't be able to like show you.
Oh wow.
It's just
Okay,
very long. I
but
don't know what
that's a
happened.
lot of work.
It is and it isn't. I think if you get into like a good routine with it, and I'm not gonna bore you with it because I remember last time we started talking about makeup, and you
Oh
just
yeah,
like
yeah, yep.
you
Regina
just
was
like
on with us.
completely yeah. Regina was out there like talking about stuff, and you were just like completely zoned out. You were more into the funny like sports stuff we ended up talking about, and how I was talking about how cricket is just nonsense to me.
That's right. We did talk about that.
I
And
remember that. I found the video of it and I was like, I cannot believe I had a laughing crisis for like a minute and a half on your show. And I was just like, I couldn't get my words out because it was just so funny.
wait a minute. So Jeff just said I didn't message you that guess I'm a crappy friend. What? You're not.
He didn't offer to host me.
Oh.
Well, that's when I'll start counting my friends. And guess what, Jeff? You're not on the list. Skip is.
Ah, there you go. You know, Jeff is doing really well though. He's working with a big country artist here now
I
with you.
saw. I
That's
saw that.
that's
I was
pretty
like,
cool.
well. I'm really glad. I mean, I think it was
Yes.
really tough for people because during the pandemic, like I was fortunate enough to be able to do things and I got lots done during
Mhm.
that period and especially with the movie and everything. Like I'm really grateful for everything that I managed to do. But I think for other people, it was a really tough time, aside from losing people to COVID, but
Mhm.
also not being able to do your work. And some people do love their jobs. Like some people are married to their work, and it's just so tough to see people go through it. And I know with Jeff especially, he was just so annoyed at the fact that he couldn't do what he's good at and he wanted to do. So I'm
Right.
really happy. I saw like he went on like a small
Tour.
I think he's going on tour, or I think there were like some concerts, and I was really
Yep.
happy to
Yep.
see him thriving and doing what he's best at. So
He's a great guy and he works very hard. He's very passionate and very dedicated.
it's the only
So
way. It's the only way to get anything done. I don't think if you don't have the passion and the drive, like nothing real is ever gonna come through. It might take a long time to get where you want to, but if you're just doing something for the sake of it, I don't think you can draw the line in the day and be like, okay, I'm really happy with myself. I think it's gotta be the passion in anything that you do.
yeah, no
So
doubt. And you're a good example of that as well.
I mean, if you
Just
say
saying.
so, but yes, no, I try. I really try. I think everything that I do has to just like come from a place of I really care about this. Like whether it's I don't know,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna give a stupid example. Like if I don't know, like cleaning the house, doing laundry, setting up the table, making food. Like if you're not doing any of that with the passion, and I heard something really interesting. I was listening to a podcast, not myself. I don't just listen to myself all the time. But I was listening to a podcast like a couple of weeks ago, and it said your mindset, and it's so true because I've been doing it since. It's like your mindset would change so much if you switch from I have to do this to I get to do this. And that to
It's
me
true.
was really interesting because people would always say things like, I have to go to work, I have to go to uni, I have to go to the gym, I have to make food. And then if you change all of that and you swap it into, I get to work and I get to go to uni and I get to go to the gym and I get to make food and all of this. And I think
Mhm.
it's like a really small thing, but it's always the little things that count the most. So in this sense, if you look at the things that you get to do as like an opportunity, then you're not going to find them like so horrible and terrible and like you're going to feel miserable because look at all these things you have to do. It's like, well, no, look at all these things that you get to do because other people
Well,
don't. So
yeah. If I get to do laundry, I'm not happy.
I,
It's like I have to do laundry. I'm not happy.
yeah, I mean,
But
I love doing laundry. I don't know what other people want, like what other people like to do, but I love doing laundry because I just like
well,
when everything just smells good.
I really don't do the laundry. Nancy does, my wife. But
What a queen, Queen Nancy.
every Sunday I hear the basket come down the stairs and she does the laundry. But it's like I have to do the laundry. That's what she says. I have to get this done.
Well, ask her. Look, because now we've talked about this. Maybe just like say, hey, listen, I spoke to Andrada tonight, and she said something really interesting. I mean, it's not my creation; someone else said it, and probably someone else said it before
No,
that.
but it's a good point.
But I think it's a really interesting point, and I tried it because I would catch myself doing it. Like I would catch myself saying, "Oh, I have to do this," and then I would realize, wait, I do have to do it, but it's because I want to. Like most things that
Mhm.
you have to do, it's because on some level you want to do them. Even if it's like going to the dentist, no one's forcing you to go. Like it's still something that you have to do because you want to improve a problem or you want to improve your
Right, right. No, that's
appearance or
true.
whatever it is.
That's
So
true.
I think it's just a matter of perspective and it's just a matter of how you word things in your head to yourself. And like
I
I
was
said,
just gonna
even with
say that.
cooking,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
even with cooking, like some people just say, "Oh, I don't like cooking." But I'm telling you, if you create like a ritual out of it, and if you have like your own little routine of you play your favorite music, like let's say
Mhm.
your brain in your brain you have your favorite playlist associated with making food, and let's say you're having like your favorite bottle of wine or whatever you may like to drink, and you're also having that whilst you're making food, then automatically you're gonna just like it more because it's gonna become something that you enjoy doing rather than something that you must do and have to do to survive. Like I just don't think that's the way to go. That's the way to live. I think you have to find the pleasure even in the small stuff. That's just my theory, and
So
it's
let me
working out.
ask, when are you gonna start your own podcast? Because that's excellent.
How did you know? Oh my god. Okay. Well, I haven't like actually announced this, so I feel like you're just like
Uh,
getting all this information out of me now.
I'm just watching your body language and listening to you and the way that you're talking and the way that you're coming across. You are so talented in everything that you do. I'm thinking she's gonna come up with a podcast.
I am coming up for the podcast.
Yay! Cool.
That is so funny.
Can you tell us about it a little bit?
I mean, it's I don't want to talk too much about it just because I
Okay.
don't like to say like things before they actually happen, but it's just really funny because I mean, I'll just give you the whole rundown. Listen. So, I mean, I'm not sure if she's here. She said that she might join in, but she can just watch it later. So if she's here, just like say hello. But
Okay.
the thing is, I was asking myself this question, right? So we spoke, and you said, "Oh, like you're a great artist, and I love your music, and this and that."
Mhm,
But
mhm.
you said to me in all of our podcasts, "Oh, like you're such a good person. You're such a nice person.
Yes.
You have a nice personality." So
Yes.
then, like, whenever you hear that, some people may find it like, oh, just my personality. Like, is that the best I've
Mm.
got? But then I kept hearing that, and not in like a cocky way, like not saying I'm the most fantastic person on earth, but um whenever I would talk to people, I would just find myself being very dedicated to talking to people and ending up like interviewing you or interviewing others. And whenever I would
Yep.
meet people, they would say like, "Oh, like you're just a nice person, like you have a very good personality." And then I would ask myself like, what differentiates me from other artists? Because I can be honest with myself and say, "Hey, you know what? I write good music. I am honest with myself in the way that I write lyrics and I record and everything." But I wouldn't say that there is something so monumentally different about me in a way of like, let's say my looks or the things that I do. I wouldn't say that I do something so crazy and out
Mhm.
there that's gonna like disrupt the whole industry. But then there was one thing that I kept hearing, and especially throughout this whole year, it was like people talking about my personality. And I was like, that is the one thing that I have that like no one can take away from me. It was like it is in my looks,
Mhm.
it is in my hair, even though I got these like cute little bangs now. But it's never gonna be my looks because there's nothing crazy.
Mhm.
I'm not tattooed all over my face. I don't have piercings. I don't have anything. Like I don't dye my hair in a million colors. So there's nothing to do with my appearance in itself. And I started hearing this so much about personality, and I was like, wait, hang on a minute. What if having a personality isn't something to worry about? Maybe it's something to actually use for something. And then I reconnected with someone that I worked with on the movie, which by the way did very well. They went to number one. Way hey. But
Whoa, 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 whoa. It went to number 1?
yeah, so in Romania I went to number one. It stayed number one for like 2-3 weeks, I think. So yeah, that
Oh,
was
well,
that
I
was
hope it
quite.
put a little bit of something something in your bank account.
I mean, let's not talk about that on here.
No, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just saying you're worth it.
Well, I
So,
mean, it was just good to see that obviously what we put together brought some results. So
exactly.
it was
Okay.
just and again, like, that whole experience to me was, regardless of the movie, like the experience. Again, I'm talking about the journey, not the final product.
Mhm.
Just the way it goes with the song. I think those 3 weeks are in the top three best times of my life, just because it was like a really nice memory to look back on. And I met my best friend, I mean, my current one of my best friends, just in case they're watching, and I'm like, which one of us? No, but I met yeah, it always happens, and I'm like, listen, I have more than one best friend. But no, I met her through the movie. So if anything, it's
Mhm.
just really important what comes out of it, even from a personal perspective.
Mhm.
So yeah, I reconnected with one of the people that I worked with on the movie. And then don't ask me how we just like started talking about this whole podcast thing, because I mentioned it in a jokey way, because I was making all these like really just stupid jokes. And then I said, yeah, maybe I should just do a podcast because I have all this content. And then she was like, well, listen, I actually want to produce a podcast. And then I said, okay, let's talk about
Mm.
this. So it's really funny that you're asking me about that, because for the past like 2 months we've been just like getting meetings in here and there,
Yep.
and trying to like name all the episodes, and get all the concepts done. And we have like this really cool idea that I'm not going to share, just in case someone's going to steal it, so I'm not going to say
Yeah,
it.
don't share it yet,
I'm
but
not going to share it yet, but it just came into place, and it was just so funny how we reconnected and we just like clicked instantly. It was just like a really it was just really good, and I'm just so happy with it. But yes, it's just something that I've wanted to do for a while, and I think it's just the time, and it has to happen, because there's so much happening in this brain skip. Like, there's just I
I
talk to
can
myself.
tell.
I talk to myself. Like, I literally go into my kitchen or into my bathroom, and I just speak to myself on a daily basis as if I was like on a podcast. And
And
it's
you
just like,
should.
and all this content just has to leave my brain and just exist somewhere, because there's no more
Mhm.
space
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
this tiny head of mine for more stuff. And I think I have something like, I feel like I have something to say, and I feel like I have relatable things that I could say, or just subjects in general that people might relate to. And I think it's just important for me to just put that out there. And you know what? Some people are gonna hate me, some people are gonna like me, and some people might even love me. So, it's just worth a try.
That's
So
the way
yeah.
it is. There's people that hate you, there's people that like you, there's people that love you. And me too. That's life. I mean,
Who's your biggest hater?
I can't say that on here.
Can you imagine if you were like, hi, I know you're watching because you're watching every single
Ah,
episode. But you know what's funny? Even those people, there will be people, listen, there will be people who will be like, oh, look at the audacity of this girl, or like, oh, look at her just speaking her mind. But then you know what? They're gonna be watching it. They're gonna be
that's
the
right.
people that, more than anything, they might not like it, they might not save it, but they will be sending it to someone, being like, oh, look at this girl saying all this stuff. Why is she
Mhm.
saying this? So I think sometimes it isn't like, I'm not the biggest fan of the saying with, oh, bad publicity is still publicity, but I do think that even the people who might not like what you're saying are still gonna be like, you want to raise awareness. It's not about
Sure,
being liked all the time. My opinions
sure.
are my opinions, and that's about it. Like, you're not claiming that it's like um it's science, right? It's just the science of Andrada's brain. That's about it. So I think even if you don't like me, but you're still listening to what I'm saying, and you're somehow resonating with it, even if you
Mhm.
don't, it's like
Mhm.
when you give your
Mhm.
friends advice that they don't want to
Exactly.
hear. They don't want to listen to it. No one wants to listen to advice, but then you're still aware that it's true.
That is
So
true.
that's kind of where I position myself in terms of this podcast. And I want to obviously touch upon subjects that are relevant to my generation and to people in general. I want to talk about, imposter syndromes and overachieving and all of this, and just kind of see, like, where my tribe is. Like, I want to find my people. I want to find my niche of these like imposter syndrome overachievers that are just like trying and hustling all the time. And it's I think it's important to have a support system, and I think you meet so many artists that don't have that. And I
It's
think I
true.
am lucky
True.
to have people around me that are,
Hmm.
inspired,
Hmm.
and they're working hard, and we're like, you know,
Hmm.
rooting for each other. But I think there are so many people out there that they don't get that. Their families have never been in the industry. Their families aren't a support system in that sense. And it's just so
Hmm.
hard when you're your own boss, but in a weird way, because it's just a
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
it's a lot to do. You're basically working 7 different jobs in one, but kind of not getting paid enough for it. So
Hmm.
it tells you how much people like it and love it and commit to it if you're literally working for something that only you care about. And if anything, even worse, you have a family that doesn't support you. I'm not saying that's the case with me, but with other people,
Oh,
they would just
yeah.
not understand it. If you have nobody in your life to support you in that journey, then how are you supposed to keep going? It's just
It's so true. It's
so
so
hard.
true. Yeah, and you talk a lot about yourself, but what it
I talk a
tells me,
lot, period. I talk a
you
lot.
do, but and rightfully so. You have a lot going on in your life, and you're very smart, and it's all coming out, and you have a lot of confidence in yourself, and that's really what matters. It's that confidence. It's that, you have that confidence to go after what you want, and not afraid to say what you feel, and just be you. Just be Andrada. Say,
I mean,
this
I
is
think
me. If you don't
sometimes you
like it,
have
I don't
to,
care.
yeah, sometimes you
You
do
know?
have to filter yourself, because especially in this day and age where you get canceled for anything. Like, I could probably say something, on this call right now and still get canceled. So, um it is hard. I feel like back in the day you would be able to say pretty much anything and everything and not
Oh,
be
that's
judged
true.
for it. But
That's true.
now, even with this podcast, like, I'm fully aware that there will be things that I might have to edit out, just because you just never know. And I don't want to be filtered in a way of lying about my thoughts and feelings, but I also think
Mhm.
there are certain subjects that I will purposely avoid, just because it causes too much of a conversation and too much chaos. So I think I will try to talk about things that are important to me,
Mhm.
and that
Mhm.
relate to me. But in terms of political correctness and all to do with that, I don't want to get into any of it, just because it's a very big conversation. It's way bigger than me
Mhm.
and you. And I don't
Mhm.
think
Mhm.
anything that I would say would make a difference in a good sense or a bad sense. So I
Mhm.
just don't want to go down that route. I will try to keep it
Mhm.
fairly personal to
Yeah.
what I can actually give an opinion on. So
The political
yes.
correctness is one thing, and then the politics in this country right now, you just gotta keep it to yourself, because everybody is just on edge. It's crazy, and it's that time of the year here where the elections are right around the corner. So there's a lot of mudslinging, so to speak. There's all these ads.
And everyone has a different experience, and everyone has a different group. Again, it just really depends how you were brought up, and what
Right,
kind of family you were. Again, the
right,
whole religion thing comes in, because if
right.
you are a very religious person, you're not going to be supporting those things that go against what you've been taught. So it's a very big discussion
So
that
true.
goes, it's bigger than Twitter and people trying to, I hate the word like educate, like, oh, educate yourselves. You're not in like, I'm not in a position to educate anyone on something that goes against their beliefs. Like, if someone has been brought up to a certain age by their families in a certain environment, who am I to tell you how you should be living your life, or thinking or feeling? I think it's just so easy to say, oh, I'm gonna let me educate you. I think it's just so condescending to say that to someone. Like, who are you to
Who
tell
are
someone
you
else
to
what they should
tell
do?
me and go against the way I've been brought up? That's
I mean,
crazy.
don't get me wrong, there are certain things that if they're like,
Yep.
just if it's something like collectively you can say, hey,
Mhm.
that's not a good thing to do. Like, you can educate someone on why that is socially unacceptable. But when it comes to political views and beliefs and everything to do with the world at the moment, you cannot just convince someone to change their entire belief system just because it suits you and it makes your life easier. It's
S
just
Yeah. So I
not
can
gonna
I can
happen.
see this. All right, it's gonna be Andrada Popa, movie star, Andrada Popa, artist, Andrada Popa, podcast host. You're gonna have so many different titles under your name.
I mean, what's that saying? It's the jack of all trades and master of none. No, I'm joking. No, I'm trying to be it's just I'm trying to be good at everything that I do. Like
Absolutely.
I don't want to one of the things that scares me the most in life, and maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but I just don't like being mediocre. So it's just a case of if I'm doing something,
Mhm.
I'm not saying you have to be the best at it, as in like no one's ever gonna top that. But I think you should do the best, like to your ability, you should just know that you've tried your best. So if you're doing something,
Yes.
actually do it. And in my head, it's always been probably because the way I was brought up, and again, family comes into this. But if you were brought up in a in an environment of things have to be perfect, things have to be done the right way, then of course you're gonna bring all of that into everything that you do. And yes, I'm not saying I'm gonna be the number one Hollywood movie star out there, but I will always try my best, whatever project that I
Mhm.
do. You'll never see me like on my phone just randomly scrolling on the internet when I'm supposed to be learning my lines or getting into the zone, or just
Right.
I'm trying to be the best version of myself. I'm not trying to be better than Meryl Streep or whatever. So I think that's probably why I have all these things that I do, because I always try to find different
Mhm.
um areas that I could be good at. Even the thing with cooking is like I I didn't cook up until I went to university, and then I guess the more you do it, the more you get into it. And yeah, if someone invited me to a cooking show, and like people love that kind of stuff here,
Mhm.
um,
Cooking with
well,
Andrada.
why not? I mean, it's like the Master Chef thing or whatever you have, like the Hell's thing or
Hell's Kitchen?
Hell's Kitchen, was it? Or I don't know, the programs where basically you have all these teams and they go in and they cook
Yeah,
and
it's
they like
like
have.
Hell's Kitchen, and there's several reality shows along those lines. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So I think yeah, I would definitely be up for that. But like I said, I just try to be open-minded to different opportunities whilst also staying true to myself and what I want to do, because it's a very hard balance between, hey, I could be way more famous, but what do I
Mhm.
have to do for it? I think that's kind of where I'm struggling the most, because people would always give me their 2 cents on how like, you could become so much more famous if you did this, but it's like, yeah, but would I be looking back on this and be proud of it? Or am I going to look back on this and be like, ugh,
Do what you
okay,
want, do what you need to do for you, not what somebody else wants,
well,
you
everyone's going
know?
to have an opinion, but you know what they say about opinions? I'm not going
Yeah,
to
I
say
know.
it here.
They're like assholes, but,
You
we'll
said
leave
it
it at
for
that.
me.
I
Thank
know,
you.
we'll leave it
Yes.
right there. But yeah, so when do you think you're gonna be starting this podcast, or could it be a little while yet?
So I'm
Is there a
gonna
date?
so I don't have a date, but I will be so we're building the set now. Like we're basically getting all these ideas together.
Okay.
And I'm very specific with my mood boards, and I just like everything to be done, because again, you want it to be perfect in the way that whatever perfect means to you, right? Perfect is a
Mhm,
very
mhm.
vague word, but
It's very
we're
open,
just like
yeah.
we're at the stage where we're so we're getting the set done. We're deciding whether we're building up the set to have it somewhere, or if we're going to film in a location. We've
Mhm.
decided that it would probably be best to build our own set, just because it's just so much easier than having to depending on other people is the thing that I hate with like capital H the most. I hate depending on people. So I think having the set separately somewhere would be best. And then I'm going to fly to London mid December and probably stay there till mid January before Paris or something. I'll figure it
Mhm.
out. But I'm going there because we're doing like an interview part as well. So you know how you like ask different questions that are gonna like
Yep,
topics that are gonna be touched in the podcast.
yep.
We're gonna be asking that to other people. So we want to just go down the streets of London and just if you see me there, just like hi. So yes, we're gonna be going down the streets of London and basically talk to people and ask them questions. So yes, that has to be done. Like that's the first step that we have to do, because everything is gonna be based on it's going to be based on the questions and the answers that we get. But it's a very like interesting concept, but I just don't want to give it away yet.
No,
So
no, and
yes,
I don't want
yes,
you to, but I'm very excited that you've been thinking about that, and maybe you got the wheels in motion to make it happen. Just a matter of
yes.
when.
Skip
So,
happens, Andrada happens. I'm not gonna copy
skip
your
happens.
name. I'm not gonna copy your name, no. But yes, in terms of release, we're trying to get it fairly soon. I mean, I would say realistically, the quickest we can get it done would be for like a February, maybe. I think like a February, March release. Yes, because
I'll
we
have
have
to
to film.
find out where you are and hop on a plane and just kind of be walking around and see if you recognize me.
I will probably be, I mean,
You'd be like,
fingers
"Oh my
crossed I'll be
god."
in Paris. Fingers crossed I'll be in Paris. Yes. So that's kind of, I mean, I could ask people of Paris questions too. Like, no
Mhm,
issue.
mhm.
But we're just trying to take it step by step. And like I said, it's like it's something that's important to me because I want my ideas to come across the right way, and I don't want to
Sure.
um it's I don't want to rush it because it's like the subjects are quite touchy maybe, and they're quite deep. So I think I don't want to just do it for the sake of
Totally.
doing it. I want to say
Right,
it because, like
right.
I said, I want to liberate my brain from all this, information. So yes, um but yes, I would definitely, like, yeah, since we're here on the Andrada to be podcast, what would your top three podcast advice? What's like your,
Top 3
since you
podcast
have a podcast,
advice.
what would you say, like, the do's and the don'ts of like
Well, the
doing a
biggest
podcast?
thing is to be real.
Okay,
You
I think
need to
I've
be
got that
real,
down. Okay.
which is I think that be real. I don't know. I think, by saying be real covers a lot. Just be yourself and just be conversational and don't take sides.
I
Just
mean,
kind
you're
of
my favorite interviewer. Just saying that, like, out of everyone that I've ever had to interview me on anything, I
oh,
think
stop.
I liked you. No, but I'm not. You know me. Like, I am I'm real. But I just want to say the reason why I liked you. Not saying that I didn't like anyone else, but it's because you were very real in the way you were communicating. It was, some people are nice, but they ask you the questions that they have written down on a piece of
No,
paper
I
to
have
ask
nothing.
you, and it doesn't feel like it feels like a artist interviewer type of
Mm.
communication. But I think with you, it was always like, oh, okay, this person actually cares about Anjara the human, not because someone called them to invite me
Exactly.
here.
That's
Thanks, Jeff, by the
exactly
way.
it, Andrada. That's because I not only interview you, we've also become friends, but I interview a lot of big artists from here in the States. And when I do the interviews, and I hear that a lot, what you just said, I hear that a lot because I don't write questions down. People are going to go, "You're nuts." I prepare up here. I know who I'm talking to. I have a good idea what they do, but that's, knowing that they're an artist and all that is one side. But hey, how's the family? How's it going? Hey, what did you, do you hunt? Hey, I can go on and carry on a conversation that's totally off of them being whoever they are as a star and
Yes,
find
because I
out
think at the end of the
that
day,
they're
you
real.
are a human being. Like,
Yes.
I think we've dehumanized artists a lot, and we've always done that. And I've spoken about this with many people, just like in my random conversations. But
Mhm.
the fact that we look at artists as a different breed from what we are, like, let's say a normal person, a fan versus Harry Styles, um, it's still a human being. Like, we're still people. So then why
Mhm.
wouldn't you
Mhm.
talk
Mhm.
to the person you're interviewing? Like, hey, how's your family? How's your dog? How's, like, I know people want to hear about releases and achievements and how many awards you've got and how many diplomas you
That's only
have. And
this much of it. That's only this much of the
it's so
conversation
little of
when
it, because you could have
yes.
that conversation with me, and let's say I could tell you, I could just, like, tell you everything amazing that I've done in my life and everything that I've achieved and struggled for, and give you this like motivational speech on how to reach your dreams, when, let's say, half an hour before the call I cried. I haven't, but I'm
Mhm.
saying
No,
it's
I
it's a
get it.
case of it's a case of just, okay, we're two humans having a conversation, whether you're the interviewer and I'm the person being interviewed. But I think, like you said, if you lose that element of, hey, we're all humans at the end of the day,
Mhm.
then it
Mhm.
just feels
Mhm.
like an actual interview, and
It is.
doesn't go
It
nowhere.
you know what I love is, like, I talk to you or I talk to another artist and it'd be like, Skip, can I ask you a question? I'd be like, yeah, absolutely. Now we have this conversation going and and I've had so many do that lately. It's just like, you don't mind if I ask you a couple questions because they know it's a conversation and it's
And that's
just,
how it should feel. Yes.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna write that for number one of the to do's. on the podcast? What's your number 2?
My number 2 to do.
Or you can do a don't do.
Uh, God, I don't know. I got to think about this because it's such a, like I said, when I said just a few minutes ago, be real, I think that covers all of it. Just be real and just be yourself and don't try to be somebody you're not and just have that conversation and just I can't I'm going to say be real. I don't know what the second one would be though. Cuz it covers
What's
it all.
something that you would say don't do this? Like, is there anything that you would say, oh, I've done this one time and it just wasn't good, or I don't know.
Don't hopefully you have a little knowledge of the person you're interviewing. Um
Oh
they
God,
might
yes.
there's certain things that they probably don't want brought up if by reading whatever about them, they've had a bad
Mhm.
those,
Mhm.
if they I wouldn't dig into something like that unless they bring it up to you. If they
Yeah.
mention it to you as the interviewer saying, "Oh, this happened back blah 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 and blah blah blah," then it's okay to ask a question about it. But as the interviewer, I would be very careful because there's a lot of subjects that are really, as you mentioned a few minutes ago, that can be very sensitive. And all you're going to do is piss them off, and they're going to say, "I'm done with this interview," and walk off. That's one thing you don't want.
I
So,
also think as well, like, when you are wait, I'm messaging my friend because she wants to come on the podcast.
oh,
But
she can
I
come
was
on.
gonna say no, I was just saying when you interview someone because you have to, it shows. Like, for
Mhm,
example, if you don't really know who you're interviewing, right? And you're just like asking questions and then you get their names wrong. I don't think
mhm,
there's anything worse than interviewing someone and them realizing, oh God, you don't care about me. This is just your job. Like, it's one thing
mhm.
for you to get my name wrong because my name is weird, and you're like, how'd you actually say that? And it's another to purposely just not even care to look at the information beforehand. I think
Right,
that's a big
right.
no-no. And I think it only happened to me once. And in that second, my brain just completely zoned out because I was like, you don't care about me. I'm just here because someone made a call and because it's a thing to go on shows and to talk. And I think it's just so important to be a real human being when you talk about stuff like this.
Did you say your friend wants to come on here?
No, she
Send her the
wants
link.
to. No, I sent her the link so she can watch. Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I say my friend. It's the person I'm doing the podcast with, so it's
Oh,
might as
cool.
well. She should be here and listen to
She
this.
should
And
send her the link I sent you, and then she can pop in. It's fine.
I sent it to her now. I mean, hopefully she'll come on. So yes. But yeah, going back to what you were saying, I completely agree. I think if you make that rookie mistake of just getting someone's name wrong, like let's say on my
Mhm,
show when I'll
mhm,
have it, and then I
mhm,
invite someone and then I know nothing about them and
mm.
it's just really awkward, or like I get all the facts wrong and they're just like, why am I here? Like, you what
Well,
is this?
yeah, that's when you do that, it's good that yes, I look over the information I'm given or the person I'm going to interview, but like say I'm not writing out questions. I do know, a little bit about them, and then the conversation will build upon itself as you go. If does that make sense?
Oh,
Um,
100%. 100% makes sense because I remember when we had our first podcast and you had like a set of things you wanted to ask me, but you were getting so distracted by Acton and the thing that you lived in. Like, I was in Ealing and you lived in
mhm,
Acton and everything.
mhm.
And then I feel
Yeah,
like we
that's right. You
derailed, but in a good
remembered.
way. Of course, I remember everything.
Oh my
But no,
gosh, you remember.
yeah, no, I remember, but it was just funny because I felt like it moved from, okay, Skip is interviewing me and asking about my
Mhm,
music because
mhm.
Jeff asked him to have me on this podcast. And
That's
it
how it all
moved
started.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, it's how, thank you, Jeff. But no, it all moved to, okay, I'm actually having a conversation. I'm making, like, we're basically becoming friends whilst having that conversation. And I think that
Mhm.
was just so, it was just so refreshing from going to a TV show and having someone ask you a question and genuinely feel like, they don't care about me right now. Like, I'm just here because
Mhm.
someone sent me. So
Yeah. Your friend logged on.
hi. Yeah, she
What's
should
her
ask
name?
questions.
Samina? Is it
Yes,
Samina?
that's her name. Yeah,
Very
she can
beautiful.
ask your top tips for a successful podcast. Any
Ah,
other things you can think of?
she what now?
I was saying any other things you can think of in terms of what's like what, like, let's say you made a mistake once and you were like, oh God, I did like this really embarrassing thing when one time I was on a podcast. I don't know.
I mean, that could make for a good podcast. Because when you make mistakes, people are going to look and they're going to talk about it, and that all goes back to those 2 words: be real. Because nobody's perfect. I if this is all live, so there's no editing to this.
I was gonna say, because I wouldn't do it live, because I don't know how you do it. It's just so stressful. So much stuff can go wrong. Like, I remember when we were still on and we thought we weren't, and we just kept talking, and people were
and
like, "Yeah, we're still here."
Yeah, but I can you see afterwards, though, in post production, I can edit a lot of that out and re-upload the video, but still somebody saw it
Oh,
live. You know what I
yes,
mean? Like, this
yes.
is live. What's happening right now is live. Samina is hearing me talk live right
I
now.
bet she loves it with these microphones, since we're so cool and we have matching
We are very
microphones.
cool. Very cool. And that's
I
the other
plan
thing
on
when you
using this. Go on.
yeah, yep, yeah, I would use a microphone like this for a podcast. These are very, as they are professional broadcast microphones. There's a lot of different microphones that you could get, probably some that are a whole lot cheaper, but you can't go wrong
I
with
mean,
these.
since I have this, might as well, but I need to get a stand because my hand hurts from having to hold it like this.
Right. No, exactly. And you can get a table stand from Amazon for $19. Or well, I don't know what it would be in your
Yeah,
money,
no,
but
it's okay. It's okay. We're not gonna try and teach you the math of that.
no. And if Samina wanted to come on, just send her the other link. She could pop on
Oh my
now.
god, that would be so funny. I feel like the chaos. You cannot listen. You would not be able to handle both of us on a call. Trust me. I'm warning you. We're insane.
Does she speak English?
She would call me, yes. So she
Okay.
would call me. She's in London now. So she would call me, and we would be like, "Oh, we're just gonna have like a quick call, discuss a few details." I'm telling you, 4 hours later, we're still on the phone. 4 hours later, we're still on the phone, and we're like, "Oh my god, what are we talking about now?" And it's just like a never-ending conversation, which is good because you need to be close with the people that you obviously work with, and you want things to, you want to know each other well enough. But it's just so funny how every conversation, like professional conversation, turns into us like just debating so many things, and then whilst we're talking, we're like, "Oh my god, that would be a really good like subject for the podcast. That would be a really good conversation."
Exactly.
And then it's just very refreshing to have crazy people like me around.
Well, that's awesome. I'm
yes.
glad. It sounds like a fun relationship that you guys know each other like that. So
Yes.
that's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
We have the movie to thank for this
Mhm.
this relationship.
And tell
Yes.
everybody what was in it. Can we get that movie here in the States?
No, I mean, my friends tried with like fake VPNs and stuff because one of my
Right.
friends has like a very good. She was like, "No, listen, my VPN is the best. I can get anything, and I cannot find your stupid movie." And I was like, "Well,
Well, what
I
happened?
don't know what to tell you." So theoretically, if you have a VPN, you can find it, but I think it doesn't really work. So it's only available in certain countries, and I
And
wouldn't be
it's
able to.
probably not in English, correct?
It's not. I don't know. Simina would know this. Do they have English subtitles? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure if it has English subtitles. So yeah, it's a bit of a bummer that you cannot properly see it. You would have to watch it and just assume just like it would be funny to like watch it and then just guess what I'm saying. So yeah.
Well, I know when we've had in our home here, we've hosted baseball players, and
Okay.
a lot of them were Latino, and
You were
there was
speaking
no
Spanish,
English,
I'm assuming. Yeah.
so they're speaking Spanish, correct? So,
How's
but
your
they would.
Spanish? Hola, ¿qué tal?
I suck at that. I'm just telling you right now. I can barely speak English correctly, and I do it for
Oh,
a
you're
living.
fine. You're fine. It's your job. Jesus.
I know. That's the scary thing about it. But no, they would watch. What they would do is watch a show in English. No, in Spanish with the English closed caption
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
bottom.
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they would know
Okay.
and they would learn what the words were.
Well,
So
maybe you should learn some Spanish, Like it's always a good thing to have under your belt.
I should learn some Romanian.
I mean, Spanish is next on my list. I was gonna do Spanish, and then I was like, oh,
Well,
I gotta do French first. So now I'm on my like 152-day streak on Duolingo.
maybe
There we go.
Spanish and English are the two biggest languages in the world. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
even here, mainland United States, it's, if you call somewhere and you get an answering machine, it's English and then it's Spanish.
Yeah.
It's like,
No, I think it's a very useful language to have, especially because
yeah,
in
I think so.
America and
See.
also in Spain. So oh, look at you! You got one word in. See. I
You
cannot
caught
believe
on
that's
really quick. See, yeah,
sí, sí, señorita.
that's the si, senor,
Yeah,
senorita.
well, senor is you because you're a senor. I'm a
I know,
señorita
I
'cause
know,
I'm a woman.
senorita,
Yeah. Yeah, we
senorita.
should
I
just like
got you.
try to do Spanish lessons together, but no, please.
No, we don't want to do that, Andrada. No, no,
It
no, no,
would
no, no.
be it would be a really interesting thing for people to watch and just be like, "Oh my god, these two are terrible. Like, what are they doing?" So yeah, please do not embarrass me. I've already embarrassed myself once um at a party when I was trying to speak Spanish and the one of the people there actually knew Spanish and I didn't know and I was like, "Oh god." I was like, "This is so embarrassing because yeah, you just assume that people wouldn't." And then I was like, "Oh, okay, what was I even saying?"
How many languages do you know? Now, Spanish is tough. It can be tough for you, but obviously English, Romanian.
So I speak English and Romanian. I've studied French throughout my most of my existence, but it just didn't stick
Yeah.
very well. As in,
Okay.
I'm like, if I have a text in front of me, I can read it and I understand it. But it's just
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
it's not something that I speak on a daily basis. So then, if I have to come up with everything that I have to say, it does take me a while. So I would say French is getting there. I'm trying to better it before I leave. And with Spanish, again, like Spanish is so similar to Romanian, right? Because they're like both Latin languages. So when
Sure.
I was in Spain, even though I wasn't properly speaking it, but when people were talking back to me or when I was reading things, most words are just the same, like they would sound the same. So in a lucky way, you would just guess them. You would just say, okay, well, aqua is apa in Romanian. Like, come on, it's pretty obvious what you mean.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
with most things as well, like it's just kind of it's for me, it would be very easy to learn it if I actually sat down and was like, okay, I'm learning this. It's probably the easiest one to learn as a Romanian speaking
Hmm.
person.
Hmm.
It's probably easier to learn Spanish than English if you started now. So
Gotcha.
so
I
yeah,
don't know.
but
I
I'll
probably
stick
couldn't
to
learn.
English and Romanian. I would say English and Romanian are like the ones that actually I'm like fluent in. Probably more
Mhm.
fluent in English than Romanian because sometimes my brain's like, what was that? What's that word? And I just try to like,
Wait a
because like,
minute. No, but Romanian's that's your language though. That's you.
well, I'll tell you why. It's because I didn't believe this before I left for uni. Because people would like come back from uni and they would make like mistakes, and I'd be like, oh, listen, I'm like, honey, you've been in university for a year, chill out. But then the thing is, if you live in a different country and you don't speak your own language at all, like I didn't have any Romanian flatmates, I didn't have any Romanian people
Yeah.
around me
Yeah.
at all.
Okay.
So I stopped speaking it aside from the occasional call with my family. I wasn't really speaking to anyone in Romanian. And I think it was just a case of, I think it was just a case of some words would sound similar. So then when you were trying to say them in Romanian, you'd be like, wait, is this the word? It just sounded weird. It was like so
Yeah.
similar. It could have been that, but it wasn't. So then there were certain sentences or things that you would say that your brain would just automatically translate them into English. And I guess yeah, people do hate it when you like switch from one to another, but sometimes your brain just does it automatically. So yes, I didn't believe
Hmm.
it could be a thing, but it definitely is. And I think yeah, I dream in English. Is that weird? I don't know. It's quite interesting. Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I
You
know.
dream in English,
Yes, like
but
sometimes
wow.
I think it depends as well. Like on the so for example, let's say you're dreaming about um I don't know, in your dream someone shows up and like they're talking or something,
Mhm.
and you've never heard that person speak in Romanian, right? Because they're not Romanian.
Well,
So then
yeah. Okay.
how would you communicate with that person in Romanian in your dream if you've not met them? Like they don't speak the language.
Right. Right.
So
No,
then
that's a good
obviously,
point.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
that was interesting to me too. I was like, wait, I'm dreaming in a different language. That's quite cool. Yeah. So wait till I dream in French.
Yeah. I
There will
wonder
just
what
be
that's going to be like.
yeah, it'll be like
Uh,
baguettes and croissants everywhere.
mhm, mhm.
Oh my god.
So anyways, Andrada, you're just so awesome. Very
I stop saying that
conversational.
every time. Like you just like make me blush every time you say this. But we've
I
already
don't see you
established my
blushing.
personality.
I don't see you blushing.
You cannot see
No,
from this
no,
light that's like
no,
killing
no,
my eye.
no, no. I don't see you blushing. So when's the next movie? Do you have anything in the works or some
Not
acting
a
or?
movie, no. So I'm like sometimes like I'm filming for this series, like it's like an on and off thing that I'm
Mhm.
filming for, but I'm trying to redo my reel. Like that's like the next thing on my to-do list. I have to redo my reel just because I want to send it out and everything, because it's important to have an updated one and send it out to people that they can actually see, again, like you always have to obviously look the way that you look in person. So if I'm sending a reel from like 2 years ago, and then you walk into the audition room and you're like, you don't look like this. So yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm getting that done so I can send it out.
Cool.
And then yeah, songs wise, I've got some stuff prepped for
Good.
beginning of next year. But we'll see if I'm changing the title or not. No, hopefully not. No, hopefully not. But yes, that's gonna be there. And then yeah, I'm just gonna get a it's like a second degree, because why not? You can never have enough degrees in this life. So
Like you got time to do that.
I think it's gonna be an interesting experience. Like you are aware that our next session of Where in the World is Andrada is gonna be like in a different city, hopefully Paris, and I'll be like, bonjour.
You just got to let me know. That's
Yes,
all.
I
And
know.
we'll do it. We keep in touch, which is cool. And
No,
when
we
anything
do.
happens in the world, as you mentioned before, I'll drop you a quick text. Are you okay? What's going on?
No, that was really heartwarming
What
when you did that.
amazes me is I don't think when as you know, is when I send those text messages.
I don't
because-
think. What do
But
I
it's-
know is I don't think.
I don't think. It's usually like probably 3:30 in the morning there, and all of a sudden I get a text back from you. What do you sleep with the phone? And then it ding. It's like, oh, it's Skip. That's right. It's only 10 o'clock at night there.
Yeah, no, it's because the way that I work and the way that I do things, it's always late at night. We've already discussed this. Like my brain just
Yes,
functions at that
yeah.
time. And throughout the day I have to be in different places. Like I would never be able to get the stuff that I have to do, get it done
Mhm.
throughout the day. So yeah, it's usually just it's got like I tried God knows I tried the whole waking up early thing and the whole 5 a.m. hit the gym, la la la. And then I just get so
Mm,
tired. Like 10 a.m.
yeah,
hits and I'm
it's
like,
too hard.
wow, I need a nap. So I think some people are just built different. Look, some people are good at waking up early and doing their spiel, and then guess what? They're in bed by 10 p.m. I genuinely cannot do that because my phone starts ringing at 10 p.m. Like most people that I work with, they aren't even from here. So obviously they would just not need me during my normal time. So so no, I think
Yeah,
for some
I
people,
hear you.
listen, for some people it works, for some people it doesn't. I genuinely tried, but I've spoken to many different artists and we're all on the same page of our brains are just wired differently and
Mhm.
our best ideas do not come at 1 p.m. It's going to be 1 a.m.
Do
So
you have a favorite American artist?
favorite American artist. Someone asked me this yesterday. That's funny, and I was like, I don't really know. Um, I do like Phineas. Like I like is Billie Eilish's brother.
Yep.
So I like
Yep.
his way. Like I like his writing style a lot. I think he's
That's cool.
a genius. Like when I was listening to all of this stuff and the way he's creating it and how he gets his ideas, and I thought that's pretty brilliant. So yes, I mean Billie Eilish, like I like her as well.
I love
Ariana
her.
Grande,
She's
but I would say I used to like her more. I feel like now she's changed her style. I'm not
yes, she
as
has. Yeah.
I still like her, but I'm not as hyped as I used to be. I don't know what else. I listen to like different types of music. I listen to a lot of depressing stuff, not just purposely, but because I like chilled things to listen to. I cannot listen to very heavy music whenever I'm like around the house or whenever I'm going somewhere. I have very mellow playlists and it's all like folky indie something.
Mhm,
Um
mhm.
but yes, I would say he's not American, but everyone knows, and we're not gonna lie on here because why would we?
Nope.
But my favorite artist, like male artist, is Harry Styles.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I already bought my tickets for his concert in Paris.
Yep.
I was there at 10 a.m. in a queue with 60,000 people in front of me. I was like, listen,
I'm gonna
listen.
get my tickets.
I'm gonna get my tickets, and guess what? I waited an hour. I had my brother like join in as well. I was like, can you please like join this queue? And then it was all sold out. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, are you kidding me? And then I found something eventually. I don't know, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but yes, I do think he's a very good artist.
He's
And,
he's pretty big here. So I
yes.
just, he's done some collaborations with some big artists, and whether it's country, whether it's pop, whether doesn't matter. If it's got Harry Styles on it, it's huge.
I mean, he
And
hasn't had his biggest collaboration yet, which is me, obviously, but he just doesn't know
it's
yet.
coming. It's coming. I'm telling
Hey,
you, it's going to
listen, I'm
happen.
I'm good at manifestation. I'm just gonna be manifesting this for the rest of my life, and then we're gonna look back on this podcast and be like, "There you go, that's
If
it,
your
we did
people
it."
get a hold of his people and make it happen. I'm
Yes,
just
no, I
saying.
think, yeah. In terms of
Yep.
artists, I don't think about it on a daily basis. Like, oh, who's my favorite artist? I don't know. I don't
No.
really. I get inspired from like people. Like I would say, as a singer, I would say vocally wise, Jessie J is one of the best singers out there because her vocals are just insane. Um, but yeah, I guess I just get inspired by different things that they do. But I'm not a fangirl. Like I wouldn't say I have
Gotcha.
anyone that I have like pictures of on the
Mhm.
walls, or I mean
Mhm.
that's Audrey
Mhm.
Hepburn, but that's something else. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's just a bit
Do
different.
you do a lot of these podcast interviews?
I've done a few. I mean, I would say yours is the one that I've done the most. I've done a
Okay.
couple of others. I think it was last actually no, I've done one recently and then yeah, but again, they felt more like interviews. When you say
Right.
podcast, to me, this is a podcast.
Right.
The
It's a
things that I've done
conversation.
felt more like actual interviews that were like, okay, tell us about your song, tell us about the release, tell us about the music video, la la la. If you wanted to, you would. And then it would
Mhm.
just be like done in 15 minutes. So it would
Not
actually
me.
be an interview based on the release. It would be very specific to
Mhm.
what you've just
Gotcha. Gotcha.
released. Yeah.
Andrada. So cool.
Mm.
Well, it's almost my dinner time.
Oh, well. Look at us. We managed to keep it under 3 hours. How did we manage that?
I know. And you tell
Oh.
Samina anytime she wants to come out, we'll do it all together.
Oh, you know what we'll
We
do it when we're launching the podcast. We're gonna come on
okay.
here and make the
Okay.
craziest, like we're gonna make all this like chaotic content so that we can use it on our podcast
Absolutely. Got to
and
take
be like
bits,
the behind the scenes of the team of this podcast. But yes, no,
Yeah,
like I said, I'm
absolutely.
always open to suggestions, and it was just really funny how you just guessed it. Like I didn't even tell you. I was like, "Am I gonna say it? Am I not gonna say it?" And then you just said, "So
I
when are you
can
doing a
read people.
podcast?" You just knew. You just knew. You manifested it.
I can read people. And the way you were just going with it, I said, like I said, that's podcast material right there.
I
So
think if I wasn't convinced, I mean, I was, but even if I wasn't convinced after having this conversation with you, I'm like 101% convinced that it has to happen. So, oh, Jeff is still here. What are you doing, Jeff?
Jeff,
He's just waiting for his next shout out. Shout out to Jeff for
I know
introducing me
that's
and
what he
Skip.
does. When he feels lonely, he'll chime in and say, okay, give me a shout out. No, I'm
Well, we
just
are
kidding.
giving you a shout out. Thank you for making us friends because
Jeff is awesome too. Jeff is, we talked
when
about this
when
in
are
the
we having
beginning.
him on the podcast? We should have him on the
He can
podcast
come
one
on
time.
right now.
Oh, Jeff, you should come on right now and say hello to us.
Send
We
him
can
the
have
link.
we can have a party. Where's the link? Wait.
Oh,
Where's the
didn't
link?
I
You
sent it
sent
to
it
you
to me. I
earlier.
don't know because you sent me two of them. I don't know which one it is, but
Well,
let me
it's
just
not the
see.
YouTube one. And by the way, if you are watching this, you can subscribe to Skip Happens on YouTube. It's
Yeah.
youtube.com/@Skip Happens. That's the way YouTube does it
Okay, I'm
now.
gonna send it to Jeff and see if he
I don't
actually
know.
shows up.
Let's see
But
if
I
he
feel like
shows
he's
up.
gonna bail on us.
Probably. He's going to say, I got things to do. No.
He's gonna say, "Listen, do you know who I
Oh,
am? I'm
no.
going on tour."
Next time I'm taking a nap because I'm an old man.
Boo hoo. Listen, I'm gonna send him a voice note that says boo hoo. I have no filter. Listen, you come on here, you wanna get a shout out and you don't wanna show up? How dare you?
You're going to have strong arms from holding that microphone.
Oh, I'll have strong arms from going to the gym, but
I know,
this
but that
this helps
microphone's
too.
helping the cause. That's
Yes,
all.
no. My next thing on the to-do list, if anyone wants to buy me a birthday present for next week, just please send me a microphone stand. Thank you very
What?
much.
What? I'll send you a
Scorpio
microphone
season.
stand.
Scorpio season is in, and I need a microphone stand. I don't know where I put it. I had one. I just moved around too much and I lost it. So yeah.
I'll send you a microphone stand.
It's okay. I was only joking. I'm gonna get
No,
it
but it's your
myself.
birthday.
It's my
Next
birthday.
week.
It's my yeah. It's next Friday. It's my
I
birthday.
just had one a couple of weeks ago. So,
And then my mom's birthday is on the Saturday, so we're gonna spend our birthdays together
oh, how
because
sweet.
yeah, it should be
How
nice.
sweet. You do a lot with your mom?
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten closer lately just because when you grow up and you're like, I don't want to spend time with my parents and all this stuff. And then the
Oh,
more
you
you
go
grow
through
up, you're
that
like,
period. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and then you go through the period of you move away and then you don't spend any time with them, and then you're like, okay, they're getting older, and you know what that means.
Mhm,
So then you kind of
mhm,
just freak
mhm.
out, and then you feel like you want to spend more time with them. So I'm trying to include my mom in my weekly plans, and whenever I play cards with my friends, like she wants to
Love it.
join, and I think it's
Love it.
just nice to include her. But sometimes we do fight, and I'm like, why did I invite you anywhere? But yes, yeah, no, I usually it usually ends up backfiring, I'm not gonna lie. But
It's all good.
no, I do realize that the older that I get, the older that they get, so I just try to spend time with my family whenever I can. So yeah,
Mhm.
trying to be a
And
good daughter.
you are a good daughter and you're a good friend, and I appreciate you. So just keep doing what you're doing, girl. Just keep it going. Happy
Thank you.
happy birthday, because I
Thank
know that,
you.
like you said, it's going to be next week. And how old?
I will be 25.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, don't freak
And
me
you've
out.
done all that's what my point is. Look at everything you've done in your
Oh,
life.
that's good, because usually people just go, "Oh my god, you're gonna be 25. Like, what are you gonna do now?" And it's just like I feel like I need people like you in my life to be like, "Listen, chill out, girl. Like, you're good." So yeah, no, I do freak myself out a lot. I feel like you get to a stage where the more you kind of grow, you're like, "Oh no, 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 stop the clock. Like, just rewind."
Yeah. Does
But at the
age
same
really
time,
matter?
yeah.
Does age
Um,
really matter? When you
I
once you hit an adult, for example, 21,
yeah.
you're a grown woman, you're running your own life, you know what you want out of life. It's just life is life at that point. Does age really matter?
I would say so. To me, it doesn't matter that I'll be like 25 or whether I'm 21, because I have the same theory. Once you hit 21, it kind of it's all a blur. Like if you ask me what age my brother is, I usually just don't remember because it's
Yeah.
over 21, it's whatever. So I think it doesn't matter to me. Like I personally don't feel a difference. Yes, I feel like in thinking and in experience and everything, yes, of course, I've gathered, more experience and all of that. But I think it only matters to some people in a weird way of like, let's say in this industry, it's all about
Mm,
being young and being this, and you gotta get this done before you're this age, and like you gotta be 16 and you gotta have all this,
I
you
hate
gotta be
that.
groomed
Yeah.
into this whatever. And it's a reality. And I think the only reason I feel like if I was in any other industry, I would not care and I would not feel old in any way at 25. I would like I never used to think of it that way, but I started freaking out about it when I realized that some people are really, really obsessed with youth in a very disturbing way.
Yes.
And it was that thing of, wait, does that mean that I'm considered old? Like, wait, what? So then your brain just starts panicking and freaking out about the, like, how fast you have to get everything done. It's like, I know you said about, oh, you've done this and you've done that, but I personally forget about all of
Mhm,
that because my
mhm.
brain is so focused on what I have to do. It's like, okay, that's been done, tick the box, move on. You don't have the time to like celebrate this success and to celebrate the, something that you're proud of, because you have to worry about the next thing. The second you put a song out, you have
Mhm.
to worry about your next 10 moves. You put a movie out, what's your next project gonna be? So I think, yeah, I don't feel old. I'm not worried. Like, I look about 15 and I get asked for my ID
Oh,
everywhere I go.
oh yeah, I thought you said
I
50.
get
No, you look about 15.
no
And
15. No, I get asked for my ID all the time, and people ask me like, "Hey, are you here with your mom?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's cute, but thank you." So yeah, no, I don't feel old. I don't look old, if anything, but for some reason people just
yeah,
sometimes want to freak you out about
I'm ready to retire.
please don't. I want to keep doing this. Can you just like
I'm not from this. This is my own. I'm in my own studio. I've built my own studio.
No,
I'm
I know. I feel like
everything
if
I
you
have
ever
is
went into like
yeah.
a retirement home, you would just be you hosting. You would still,
Well,
you
I'm
would,
not going to a retirement home.
no, I'm saying if you were like 80 something and you ended up in a, like, let's say you're going like a retirement home, and then you would just be like, listen, I still want to run this podcast, and you would still be running your podcast.
We'll
You
be
would be the
down in the
star.
lunchroom.
Yes,
I'll set
exactly.
I'll set up in
Exactly.
the what do they call it? The rec hall, the recreation hall for old people. And that's where I'll do the podcast from. No, I don't plan on stopping this anytime soon. And I'm
Good.
just,
Good.
what I do keeps me young and keeps me interested in life. And I've got, just like you, I've got a lot of things going and I'm very happy. So
Yeah,
that's the
and it's
way it
nice
is.
that you get to meet so many people and hear so many different views. Because I'm sure that if you
I
look
love it.
back on all the podcasts that you've done, you're gonna realize I don't think the same way that someone else might do, and
It's true.
someone else might have. You just learn so much from people, and I think that's the biggest take you can have in life is just communicating with people and just learning different things. It's very interesting.
Just remember, it was Skip that got you going with the podcast.
It is. It
I
is.
know.
It really is. It
Skip
really
who?
is.
No, in a couple of years it'll be Skip who? Skip
Well,
oh, it was
stop
that
it.
radio guy from the States.
I listen, I hate when people do that. Like I don't know what in your head, because so many people have made this joke where they'll be like, oh, one day you'll like look back and you'll be like, oh, this person. I'm like, listen, do I really look like the kind of person that would just like completely forget about anyone who's ever done something nice for me? Like, no, I
I'm
I wouldn't
teasing
do
you.
that. I
I'm
know, I
teasing
know,
you.
I
Like
know,
corn
I
pop.
know.
I'm teasing you.
You should go and grab dinner. What's for dinner? What's
I don't know. I gotta go upstairs, but they're upstairs cooking dinner. So I don't know. But
It just sounds like
it's
you're
good.
locked in the basement. I don't know. I have to go upstairs. I'm in my
I'm
basement.
basically locked in the basement.
Yeah, good.
This is my own room. This is
That's your man
my
cave. That is
this,
your man cave right there.
they call it a man cave. I call it the pod zone now.
The
We
pod
moved out of the
zone.
man cave thing. I
That's
call it the
kind of
pod zone. And I have a voiceover studio on one side. I've got, as I've told you before, over here, obviously, is the podcast side. If I wanted to have guests in the studio, you'd see the whole studio, which is pretty nice right now. Obviously, the way we're doing this is just,
yeah.
it is
I
what
mean,
it
I
is.
need a better camera because this is just like
I
my
was just,
laptop
you're
one.
reading my mind. I was just going to tell you that. I was just going to say, your camera looks good. That's one other thing. You got a good mic. Now you need to get a good camera.
Well, I think with mine, it's actually gonna be filmed, so we're gonna film
Okay.
it, as in an
Excellent.
actual. Yeah, I'm
Perfect.
not gonna do it like this. I will
Perfect.
do it on
Yep.
an actual
So are you on a
camera.
webcam, an external webcam, or is it built into the computer?
No, this is just like built in the computer. Because
I got
normally, like with every other thing that I would do it on my phone, which has a way better camera. But this app that we have here,
Yeah.
that we're logged on to, only works on the computer, and that's why we have to
Yeah.
deal with this
No, it works on your
mediocre
phone.
quality.
It works on your phone.
It didn't work last time when I tried, so I just thought
Why
might as
not?
well join
How
on here. I
come?
don't know. I don't
Why
know.
not?
It just
Why don't you
it
know?
wouldn't open.
Why?
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Oh, I'd hug you right now if I could. You know what? You just we're gonna, yeah, exactly. Group hug.
Hug.
I love it. Andrada, you're awesome. I know I said it again, but
Oh my god.
thank you for coming on today. And of course,
Thank you for having me, and thank you for, listening to my stuff and just listening to me ramble.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. And it's, you make a lot of sense with a lot of what you say, all of what you say. And
I'm
it's your
glad.
opinion, your thoughts, and it's your life.
Yes, and I guess you're gonna be my first listener. I'll be like, you'll be my
I'll be
first
your listener.
review on Spotify or Apple or whatever that's gonna be on. So.
You know what? Once you get it up and you send the audio, or you find a server for your audio, it'll, you send it to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iTunes, Pandora. I mean, iHeart. I mean, they all have platforms for podcasts. So,
Can you have it
and
on multiple ones at the same? Like, I'm assuming they can
yeah,
be on all of them.
yep, they can be on multiple platforms at the same time. And right now,
Good to
for
know.
example, what you're seeing is on YouTube. It's on my Skip. It's on my Skip
Facebook,
Happens
right?
Facebook, and it's also on my personal Facebook. So
Oh no, wait. Imagine if me realizing, oh no, I've been saying all this stuff on all these platforms. It's like,
yeah, and I can
damn.
actually add another platform up there if I wanted to. And when the audio will go live to almost anywhere that you get your podcast from. So it's
Okay,
cool.
good to know.
It's
I
cool.
usually forget that we're actually like live and people are listening in.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It's okay. It's okay.
yeah,
It's okay.
it's okay.
All right, my dear. I'm gonna
Thank you
go
for having me. Go
as
for it.
always. Good
Enjoy
luck.
dinner.
Where are we going to be next? Maybe Paris.
We're gonna probably be in Paris, or it could be
Paris.
London,
We're
depending.
gonna be in Paris.
London or Paris or something. So we'll figure out. I would not worry about lack of locations. We're good.
Where in the world is Andrada? I'm gonna have to have an intro made up for that.
Can we please? Can we
Yes.
please? That would be so funny if you actually got an intro done. But yours, I really like it. The new one is really cool. I love that.
I will do that. And as a matter of fact, the guy that voiced that is a big time voiceover artist. I see him once a year when I'm in Nashville, and he was talking to me about the podcast last February. And I said, John, would you do this for me? He's like, absolutely. Send me a script and blah, blah, blah. So, he's got
That
this
actually
voice.
inspired me. That actually inspired me to do one for myself. See, I got something out of this conversation.
Here's the other one.
It's time for another Zach Attack with Dad podcast. A fun conversation between a father and his son. What will Zach say?
I'm more concerned about what Dad will say.
Here is Zach and his dad, Skip Clark.
So that's he's got that voice. He does the award shows. He's a great guy. So
He sounds very voiceovery, like
he is, and
top
he's very
quality.
good. Yeah.
Yes, but that's a good idea for an intro. I will get that done.
Yes. Yeah. And I'll absolutely. We'll get it done on my end. So, all right, Andrada, you're awesome. I said it again.
Awesome. You're awesome too. I'll say it many times so you can feel weird like me.
I know that's making me feel weird. All right. All right.
Thanks for people joining in. Whoever joined in, like hi Jeff and whoever else was.
Samina.
I cannot see everyone.
Samina.
I don't know if she's still here. I feel like she's bored with me now.
She probably is.
If you're still here, just say
BM.
I'm not sure.
It's
I'm
not English.
Sure. Well, it is Romanian. It could be. I mean, I feel like potentially it could be one of my friends making a joke because the initials match. So hi on that note.
What is she saying?
She just said, "Hi, Andrada, I love you."
Oh, okay. Well, see,
So, yeah.
I see.
It's good to know. It's
good to know.
Well,
now I know that. See, okay, Andrada.
Well,
good night.
Thank you.
See you, babe. Take care. Right back at you. Talk to you.